Not live yet, Nance. Little red button, remember? There you go.
Dun,
Now you're
dun,
live.
dun, dun. Welcome. It's Crypto Night in Canada. Hi, everybody. Hi to everybody. I see Candace and Marie-Claude. It's wonderful. Ken's in the house. And we've got Gary Matthews with us tonight. I know that a lot of you see him commenting on a regular basis. This is Gary Matthews. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you guys tonight?
Good.
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I just want to say thanks for this is different. This is new. I think it's important. I think a lot of us from week to week would, myself, I'm always in front of a screen all the time, but one of these days maybe we should get Candace out here as well. It's always nice to put some names and faces together.
I know. Listen, Candace knows she's got an open invitation anytime she wants. Anyways, but yeah, no, we're really, really excited to talk to you guys tonight. And I know we've got lots of things that have come up and talk about. So I want to jump in first and foremost. And I know both of you were on our live stream on Sunday, and we saw Dave's new ARK. Oh my gosh. What's it called, Tim?
Uh-oh.
Why are you're going to make me look it up. Oh, he's not fun sometimes.
Oh, Nance.
ARK Vault. ARK Vault?
Oh, my God.
You've now made me upset, Timmy.
Didn't take long. Boy, we're only 30 seconds in.
Gosh. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I will look it up. But
congratulations on your purchase. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe what we'll do, well, I am finding the name of that. Why don't we talk about, can we start with what is this new project? And how do you even say that name so I don't get it all messed up?
You can say it Satama or Satama. It used to have Inu at the end of it, so it was like a meme coin.
Yeah.
They've actually dropped that. They've actually made they actually took Satama and they incorporated it now, so it's actually a business.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting. I posted something on the internet yesterday, I think it was. It was a live stream. They had an AMA with one of their coin group guru partners. Very interesting stuff coming out. They're going to have a wallet come out that's going to act like a DEX.
Okay.
Just like Shiba Swap or Uniswap, where you can purchase certain coins. They're going to only pick specific coins that they know that there's going to be no rug pull done on it.
Yeah.
And they're touting that they will be the cheapest DEX to purchase coins through the Ethereum network.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
What's that called, Ken?
A Satama.
And so it's the cheapest deck to purchase crypto through?
That's what they're going to be going.
Well, that's the strong.
Yeah, if you look at if you look at Shiba Swap, I can purchase something and it's like $100 in gas fees. I can turn around and get it done on Uniswap for $30. So these DEXs actually do have a bit of control on the price that they can charge for those gas fees, and I believe
they do.
A portion of that gas fee, I bet you, is getting kicked back to their wallets.
Interesting.
Not just to the miners. So they're also going to come out with some like video games and whatnot too as well. And they're going to have NFTs. You can purchase the NFT and you can actually apply it to your character in the game and use it in the game. They've got some really exciting stuff coming up.
So I like the NFT piece.
Oh, and look who chimes in just as we're talking about NFTs.
They gave one away last night on the live stream.
Did they really? Which NFT did they give away?
It was, you had a choice of, there was 6 different NFTs you could purchase. You could pick from. You could pick one NFT, or you could pick I think it was 500 billion coins. And wow. I don't know what the person picked, whether they picked the actual NFT or took 500 billion coins.
Jesus.
Amazing.
How much are the coins?
They're relatively cheap right now.
I'd say so.
And so what's the call number on it?
SAIT.
Wow.
And
awesome.
they're going hard on this coin right now. Like they're going leaps and bounds compared to other DEXs out there. So
interesting. That's amazing. Welcome, Neil.
Hi.
How are you?
You doing
No
all right?
worries.
Are you in your man cave?
Yeah, it's coming together. So you're looking at part of that. That's going to be my new workbench. It's my kid's old dresser I just replaced. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But I've got internet out here, so I'm pretty cool.
Nice. Neil, this is Gary Matthews. Gary, this is Neil, the coin chaser. And Marie Claude is wondering what your YouTube channel is. Ken, are you starting one?
No, I'm not. No. I tried doing that way back in the day. I tried doing like reviews of vapor products, and I was like, yeah, no, it's not for me.
Yeah,
I spent a pretty penny on a camera too to do it all, but whatever.
Yeah.
Ken, I'm about the same. I would like to have an editor if I was going to do so. I made a couple of videos myself throughout the day of me traveling through various different businesses I owned and operated in the US. And it was tough. It was tough and trying to get that done day in and day out. And that was enough of that. My kids, I got more videos set up for my kids. They make them every week. And they're like, here, Dad, do the editing. And I'm like, that's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
When you're really busy, you don't have the time to. You'd have to dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah.
I don't got the time for that.
The editing is the hardest part. Maybe we could just take a minute, Gary, because you're kind of new to the group. Well, first of all, Verena, we were talking about SAIT, which is, how do you say it, Ken? Satama. And is it and somebody else is asking, is it Satama Inu? Is that the same thing?
That's the original name of it, but they've dropped the Inu part because they want to get away from the whole meme thing going on.
Yeah.
Because they want to take it. They want to take this project extremely serious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What happened is somebody created Satama Inu, and then like within the first week they wanted to get rid of it. So this group of investors grabbed it, and they've been working on it ever since.
That's amazing. Well, it's definitely on our watch list. I put it in the purple book of ideas, so it's in. See, Gary's writing things too. See, we learn stuff from each other.
It's right below Shiba.
Yeah. So stop. Anyways,
Shiba's made me a good penny, so I'm not going to complain. I got in at the right time. I took some profit and my original investment, and I still have some in there, so that's all profit. I can't harp on it.
No, that's amazing. So maybe, Gary, you've got a very interesting background. Maybe you could take a minute and just sort of talk to the audience and tell them a little bit about yourself, because everybody knows you from the comments in the chat, but they don't know you as an individual and what you do and all your multiple businesses. So maybe you take a few minutes and just tell us and let us get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'll start off with something. I was introduced to cryptocurrency back in 2008 or 2009, I believe it was. It was just before my son was born. I don't know if it's in that era. I had a friend of mine says, "Hey, do you know anything about this cryptocurrency?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he says, "You know what? You need to get into something. You need to buy in." And I think Bitcoin at the time was, and I might screw up the date of the year, so just bear with me on that. But he says, I think it was about $300 or $400 for Bitcoin, and they kept pressuring me. And I said, I can't. It's too much money for me to invest in something I have no idea what it is. And I do have some friends that have a significant enough amount of Bitcoin floating around. So I got into, believe it or not, a coin called Cardona. And
nice.
I knew nothing about it, never did any research. I bought it right on the first week that it came out. I ended up buying 5,500 coins of it. I'll tell you straight out. And that was the end of it. Nothing else. We just let it sit, and I totally forgot about it. It has been sitting somewhere, and we've moved it now, but it's been sitting and sitting and sitting. And believe it or not, I knew nothing about it until the show decided to come on board. And I said, you know what? I need to start looking. Now, I knew my keys and I knew all my information. I had it stored in my safe. And but I just honestly, I had forgotten everything about it. And as you know, Cardano has gone up a little bit.
Up a little bit, for sure it has.
and I am very, very happy. So that's my introduction to into the cryptocurrency. I would say about 5-6 years ago, I did dabble into, somebody else was talking about Bitcoin and how it's growing. And I said, again, at the time, I was like, I can't afford a coin. I didn't understand that I can buy a 10th or an 1/8 of it. So I knew I could afford Ethereum because I could afford the coin. And I thought, okay, I need to buy one at a time and not a 1/10 of it. So I ended up buying more and more and more and more Ethereum. And, and look at me now, I'm very happy about that. Now, I'm not retired based on that, but a little bit about my background real quick, besides me having 2 children and living in Ontario. I started my first entrepreneur business. I got into the entertainment industry. I bought a franchise out of here of a friend of mine that I knew that had a big business out of Chicago. Our first gig, believe it or not, was Nickelback. Laugh all you want, but he pays the bills. And from there, we expanded it to all kinds of major groups all the way across Canada. I was involved with 3 Days Grace and Josh Groban and Justin Bieber and Britney Spears. And we traveled coast to coast with them, making sure that their equipment arrived at the concert. So those speakers that Neil has behind him, we were moving big things like that. Not as much bigger than what he's got behind him there, but from there, that's spun me to start and operate my own logistics company and realize that there's more in this industry, that I want to specialize in specialty units. So doing things with the Canadian Mint, moving things like pharmaceuticals that we still today, my company moves today. Now, I sold my entertainment business away to another company, but kept my pharmaceutical side of the industry. Back in 2010, I bought my very first home, and the bank told me that, you're fine, you can afford this. I said, thank you, but I don't think so. So I decided to be a driver instructor. And that passion really pushed everything else to the side. And, people are like, why would you want to be a driver instructor? And I come to realize now in 2021, I should have been a teacher. That's what I should have been. And I didn't realize this. And my birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks. I won't tell you how old I am. I'm getting old. I'm catching up. So I ended up being a driver instructor. I have been for close to, 14 years now. And I primarily focus on the commercial side. So I don't teach new licensed drivers anymore. Retired out of that for about 6 years, but been focusing on the commercial side of the industry and have a great passion for it. Now, I still own the trucking company, and we move pharmaceuticals. I got a team that takes care of that day after day. And I've been living off some other things as well with residual income. I'm not going to get involved with it too much on the panel because there are people that do think right or wrong with it. But I made a huge success in multi-level marketing.
Oh, nice.
So I make passive income. I still make passive. I don't do anything with it, but I've continued to make passive income on that, which in turns into money that I invest into cryptocurrency. And I was saying on the Rise show yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I just made enough that I was able to cash a little to max out the rest of my TFSA this week. So I'm done for the year. So I'm very proud of that. Worked really hard to make that happen. And I thank that all to these channels. So a little bit here and there, nickels and dimes have actually paid off.
Yeah.
I'll leave you.
And Ryan's really good with that, and they're his stock picks and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, no, I know there's a lot of people that have made some investment success this last year because of that.
So for anyone here on the panel that has children, I have two small children. I have 11 and a 7-year-old. And I said to my 11-year-old, he says, hey, I'd like to get a gamer computer. I said, so I can buy that Bitcoin. I want to mine that. He knows, he learned. It's amazing how much they know more than most adults know about cryptocurrency. And I said, well, we don't own a gaming computer, and I don't own a big enough or strong enough machine to be able to do so. It's like, how do I go about buying one? And I said, I'll show you a way. And I said, so we ended up, this is the honest truth, 3 weeks ago, we went over to our local Walmart here in the community. We bought a bunch of Hot Wheels, the ones that are really cool that he thought. He asked, he's not allowed on social media because of his age. I posted everything up. We bought every one of them for 89 cents. We sold every one of our Hot Wheels for $5 a piece.
Damn.
So he has made $65 already in a
Young
week.
little businessman. Holy.
And he is now learning e-commerce at 11-year-old rate. So
See?
I'm very proud of him. But that just goes to show, and you've talked about that in the channel in the past. Like, it's amazing that we look around the house and like, let's see what I can put up. But yeah, we tell the story, the backstory of what's the purpose, why we're doing so. This is the achievement. This is what we're looking at, and this is where we're exploring options. And it's interesting to see what he's willing to do with this. And his question to me yesterday was, how do I invest it like you, Dad? Because I keep showing him my cryptocurrency. I'm like, hey, I'm up another $200 today. I'm up another $350. Oh, wait, I'm down 300 today. Don't worry, I'm back up. So he's like, I don't like the risk, but how do I make money? So I'm starting him early this time. Yeah.
That is actually really amazing. So with your logistics company, I know it comes up on you're very vocal when I get into inflation and the price of freight and all that sort of stuff. I have a topic I want to talk about, and it will relate back to crypto eventually, but it is all about, I read this article this morning about the Maersk, the world's largest container shipping company, placed a $1.4 billion order for 8 new ships that run on carbon neutral fuel. The move is the single largest step taken so far to decarbonize the global shipping industry, which is important because those container ships photobombing your beach selfies are also major contributors to climate change. The sector accounts for nearly 3% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. So these new ships, which are expected to be delivered by 2024, are more electric than Nissan Leaf, with the ability to handle 16,000 containers. They're only slightly smaller than that gigantic Ever Given that was carrying those 18,300 containers when they got stuck in the Suez Canal. So here's the big picture. Trying to power huge ships with an inexpensive clean energy source has been the challenge. Electric sounds inciting until you learn that the large container ships would go through, get this, 10,000 Tesla S85 batteries every day. So they're looking at using carbon neutral methanol, which produced from renewable sources like biomass. And also other lower carbon fuel options include ammonia, hydrogen, liquefied natural gas, and nuclear energy. Though each has pros and cons, commodity traders, Cargill is even adding sales to some of its cargo ships to get wind boost. Now, the key with this thing, these new ships will cost 10 to 15% above traditional pricing, which he thinks the customers will be willing to pay more to pollute less. And he's saying that this is because that the end consumers are pushing supply chain customers such as Disney and Amazon, who have all pledged to reduce carbon emissions to their supply chains. So here's the deal. So this is where we're going to have a little debate about this, because already freight charges have risen astronomically. Even I've had to do price increases to our end customers. I think we've done that 3 times in 2021. This is unprecedented. We've never done that before. So now they're saying that these new things will add another 10 to 15% on, and the costs they feel will be transported right down to the end consumer. Can you guys imagine this? I'm just going to open it up and let you guys talk about that.
I'll start off with just something just real quick. I'm actually moving a shipment or a 40-foot container for an accessible business person that's moving some product out of Ontario into his location. He's transferring his personal belongings down to Turks and Caicos. So just an ordinary container. A few years ago, I would say about 3.5 years ago, to move this type of container out of Miami, you'd probably look between $1,200 and $1,500. I quoted him 11,000. It is a very interesting dilemma that we're facing right now. Inflation always lights me up, because when I see it in the ocean industry, in the airline industry, I'm into when I started, so 10 years ago, so 2010, what are we in, 2021, so 2011. I know that's a long time ago, guys, to listen to that, but I was moving freight outbound out of here to London for 35 cents a kilo. Now we're moving it for $6 and $7, $8 a kilo.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, fuel costs. I mean, fuel airline industry charges fuel when they need to. When the fuel decides to creep up, as we all know, we watched the fuel been moving around. 2008, it dropped back down. 2008 was actually the last time I actually was behind a wheel of a car teaching somebody how to drive, because the fuel was $1.42 a liter. And then by the end of that year ended when we hit the recession, it dropped down to 85 cents.
Yeah.
And so, but the airline industry now is watching that fuel go right back up, and where are we going again? So I don't know the new cost for the airline fuel. I haven't actually looked into it just yet. I haven't moved any air freight in the last little while, but what we've been told now from manufacturers is that price per goods to get the product in, one, they can't get the containers. Two, the price of what they're actually needing to pay for it is another issue.
Yeah.
So we're getting to turn around and says, you know what? For the difference of the 10 or 15,000 more, I can get my product on the shelves in 3 business days. And we're going to obviously increase the pricing, to the end user. But what you're saying is that's already coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still a few years away before those type of ships and everything. They're going to build them regardless, and somebody has to pay for them. And the steamship lines ain't paying for them.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, no, I just thought it was an interesting article, and it was very timely because I knew we had Gary coming on and he had a shipping business, but I wanted it to be validated that shipping and getting goods and services moved around. And then Tim, you read an article, was it yesterday, that we are going to be down 100,000 drivers in the next 10 years. So we really need companies like Tesla and what they're doing with some of their innovation. Like, did you guys see their bots, their robots? I know I showed the robots, was it last week? Well, Tesla's robots look much more sleek and we need them to start to solve some of the problems. Like him or don't like him, he's got such innovative mind thinking that we need him to come up with some of those solutions so that we can solve for these issues that are coming. Because I think the more I live in this muck and mire and it's just getting worse and worse in the supply chain. Trying not to talk about it too much because it makes me stressed out. But I think we are not going to go back to people, hordes and hordes and hordes of people coming back in and wanting to work in those kind of jobs. And I don't blame them. It's hard work. Labor is hard on some of these jobs. I mean, Ken, you've got a really tough job. I know that Neil works in a hospital, and we're not sure if Neil has to do heavy lifting with what he does, but this is all hard, back-breaking stuff. So we need to, on some levels, have innovation and have the ability to have some of these robotic enhancements in facilities to help us. And can you imagine a world where we have a driverless car and then we have robots to offload items? It would reduce the cost drastically in the long term, or it should in theory, because once you've paid for that innovation, outside of keeping it up, you don't really have labor costs.
I like what you said there. You said, to have these robots or whatever to help us, but that's not what's going to happen. They're going to replace us. That's going to be the end game, unfortunately, and that'll probably be within the next 50 years easily. The way technology is going, I see it happen in 50 years.
50 possibly, 10 to 15. No, I don't think the infrastructure is, it looks fantastic on paper. There's a lot of robotics when it comes to the automotive industry when it putting pieces together, but product to shelf, product to container, that is something that, meticulously, you got to figure out the square inch of be able to put things where they need to go. Not every box looks the same. And I'm not saying that no computer components can do that mathematical equation, but there's a lot more to that than just a robot looking at a scanner and placing it perfectly. If that was the case, then why is Amazon not using enough? Why are they still hiring, staff to pick their orders and pull their orders and package their orders and ship their orders by humans?
Yeah. Well, I think that they need to solve for it because we're in such a mess. The supply chain is in such a mess that it's actually frightening. I don't know what else to say. I had a girlfriend here tonight. She's a regular watcher of the show, and I'll say a hi. She was here just before the show, and she and I were talking about that this is widespread. It's not just distribution, it's also the manufacturing side of things. And I'm not sure I don't think we're short term going to recover this very easily. And I think it's going to get exponentially worse. We were out of white sliced bread. Like, think about this. White sliced bread. What is one of the easiest products to manufacture? White sliced bread. There's not much to it. And we were out of it. There was a run on it. And of course, the second we get out of that, no vendor had it. And all these vendors that supply, like we're buying from Weston's, just like everybody else is buying from Weston's. And so when that product goes out, everybody does this. Okay, we'll buy whole wheat bread. Then the whole wheat bread gets wiped out. Oh, okay, we'll get rye bread, and then all of it gets wiped out, and then it's a cyclical problem to get it back on track. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
What about the farmers and the lack of people that are willing to pick the orders or pull the orders or make, and somebody has to pull this stuff off the vines, and harvest this year is going to be something a little different. I think the season did quite well based on the heat and the rain, so it might be a good harvest this year for what I see in the fields, but someone that needs to pull.
They can't get the workers to get the we had one guy who we buy from. He said it's the best corn crop he's ever had, from a sweetness, like the perfect combination for corn. Can't get it out of his field fast enough before it's rotting because don't have any workers. So we are in a critical, this is like no joke stuff, right? We're talking about, but it's not meant to be depressing. I just think we're in the point in history when probably remember when they were going from the agricultural industry to the industrial age, and it was messy. It was messy. So you had all the farmers that worked in the agriculture that then people left en masse to go into industrial jobs. Then the industry had to solve for the problems of the farmers because we still needed to eat. So they solved for it. They innovated. There was a lot of things that went on at that time, but it was probably mucky. I didn't live in that time, but I'm assuming it was mucky. And so anyways, I actually think we're here. I think this is us watching it thrust upon us, and we need to innovate. And where I find that this ties back to crypto is that a lot of the projects that we're looking at are innovative, and we need the creative, innovative energy that's coming out of this space.
Actually, I have a question for the panel, not just for the panel, but for everyone, everyone that's watching. In the crypto, I'm going to bring crypto back. Crypto's been pretty interesting the last 60 days or last 45 days. We've all taken the dip and we've all seen the increase, and it's nice to see a little bit of green for the last little while, and Bitcoin raising up to not an all-time high, but nice to see it back to I think where it should be for a while. But my question is that who's buying into crypto these days? And for you guys, is anyone here, buying anything or has purchased anything in the last 30 days? Are we still investing into crypto?
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We did.
You're muted, Neil.
Yeah. Way to go, Neil.
There you go, mute. There you go.
Would you just call him?
I said mute. I said, there you go, mute. There you go, Neil.
Okay, great. And for me, it was always been a question of mine on the other side, because I have actually, he's gone now. I've actually stopped buying for a little bit here. I think the markets, the uncertainties and things, I had a lot of just little worry and concern of how this market was playing out. And I think sometimes the Rye channel still here? Yeah, he's still here. So listening to his advice and not advice, but listening to what he is actually doing and seeing, and we're waiting for something to burst somewhere. And I don't know what it is, but I have that feeling. So,
well, I've always had that feeling about the stock market for sure. Oh, look, I think we got Neil back.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
there we go.
Neil. So what have you been buying, Neil?
The only thing I've done recently is I did a degen play, which was buying some ice.
Ice. What's
And
that all about?
It's related to Titan Swap. So it's on the define pooling, but that's all I've really done. I've just been pooling lately. I've been, enjoying kind of the sideways chop as I try and continue to learn because, I came in early, saw some gains, did some good things, and then just, made mistake after mistake. So just trying to, recover and that.
Neil, you were doing the gaming, correct?
I haven't done any gaming. I'm just very interested in it. It's just I'm not ready to invest a lot more in. Like, I have 3 young children, younger than yours, so there's only so much money. And I jumped in really towards the end of the first kind of run, and I've been just kind of trying to take it in and just reading some stuff and watching a few videos. And more people are starting to say super cycle again, which makes me, definitely optimistic. But I'm actually going to start trying to dollar cost average in. And one thing I recently heard is that MetaMask might be actually doing a DAO drop. So for users, so I'm actually thinking of going to make more wallets, one for each of my children. And I'm going to start probably doing lower caps, but I'm going to start trying dollar cost. One, I don't know why, but I keep coming back to it. It's VeChain. I keep coming back to it, and I haven't got it before, but I just feel like it's got so much practical application that it's something. And Nancy keeps going through like supply chain, so I'm like, man, this has. So that's one that I've been keeping an eye on, and I'm just looking at Luna, just crying because I got in on that at 17 and then sold it for a little bit of a loss, and now it's just gone ballistic, right? So
It happens.
I'm just trying to stay positive, being like, hey, I've picked some good things. It's just, I got scared and I tried to wait for the bottom, and I didn't know anything about when the bottom was going to hit. But
I've been able to take my initial investment out of crypto for some time now. So whatever's actually sitting in there, for me, I call it a lost cause in case it ever disappeared somewhere. But yes, so now anything that I'm putting in, which I haven't put in about 60 days, has been to, I have money set aside, but I just moved it all to my TFSA. I thought that was a better choice at the moment for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm a single dad of 2 kids, so it's very important to me to make sure that I put my resources and my investments in proper ways. But you actually point on something here, Neil. Children, as I mentioned in my little monologue, my 11-year-old is very interested in crypto, and it's not like I'm going to give him a handful of cash and say, hey, best of luck to you. But I don't know how to get my 11-year-old in to say, hey, listen, let's invest into something, into crypto. I mean, I can invest them into stocks under my own, but I don't know how to break that apart.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Why don't you do something that would be fun that they could relate to? And Neil knows where I'm going with this. Omi. It's still inexpensive, and they've got a nice roadmap where they're going to do a lot of drops with them. So if you do that, then they can watch the progress with all the Marvel comics. It's something that would be relatable for kids. And I still have my fingers crossed that Pokemon's going to come out for that. And
Yeah, but how do you start them? I need ID and proof and passports and everything else. I can't.
You have to start it under your own name, but you could set it aside as your name, and then you say that we're just doing this investment just with you and me. And and whatever they put in, I know, Verena, Omi, I'm still excited about it. Don't worry, I still hold my Omi. I'm still believe.
So
I have not changed a
So do
single ounce of it. I'm thinking.
That's one of the ones I haven't touched it. And I think it's a lot of fun. But one thing I've started to do is, so I have, for my previous job, I have locked in Lira, and then I have my pension through work right now, and it's a good one because they actually contribute a little bit more than I do. The union does. So everything I've done with crypto is a complete hedge against that, to try and diversify. I don't have any stocks and so on. I do have, the traditional stuff for the banks like RESP and stuff for the kids and so on. So what I was thinking of doing is just creating a MetaMask wallet for them and being decentralized. And it's not theirs, but it's what I'm doing for them. So instead of putting money into an RESP, which I think is actually probably the worst thing I could do right now. Sorry, I got up because I left my door open. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes. So man cave's not complete. So
needs a screen.
Yeah. So, and what I'm going to do with my wife, though, is I'm going to bring her a few things and be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Because she's learned about crypto with me, but I'm also looking for kind of someone who's like, as they say, a normie, right? Like, do you think this would work? Do you think this is long-term and so on? And that's kind of how I want to do it for long-term. And another one I've been looking at, because there's a lot of DeFi going on, it was Phantom. And it's been moving a little bit lately. And so the layer 1s seem to be doing really well, and some layer 2s depending on what they're working with. So that's kind of why I was like, maybe this would be a good time to do some of these very early on projects. I never really looked into Avalanche, but I was like, oh, what's Avalanche? And I looked into it a while ago, and now it's exploded, right? So I just feel like even, a few $100s might really go somewhere for them. And imagine, it was something like a Cardano that you get at a couple cents, and then like, who knows where Cardano is going to go, especially if they hit that time frame, right? I've been in and out of Cardano. I did it, actually, it was one of my early successes, is I did well on it and then basically failed since then. So probably should have held it now.
At $200, I'm a multimillionaire. But
wow!
But
if we get there.
But my capital gains would kill me anyways at the end of the day.
Hey, it's all good. If you're paying the gains, then it means you made a whole pile. Can we go back for a minute to something you said earlier, Neil? Because I'm conscious, my girlfriend, as I said, that was here, constantly asks me to be conscientious of all the new people watching. And so she goes, if you don't understand something, and I know you ask them afterwards, just ask them live on the stream, because so you used a term, MetaMask is doing a DAO.
I believe a DAO is the directed organization governance, I believe. And it's when, based on how many tokens you have, you get a share of the vote, is the way I understand it, in very simple terms. So if you're a user, they are looking at doing some kind of airdrop. There's a rumor of it. It might not be true, but if you have a MetaMask wallet and you've been using it, there's a chance that there'll be an airdrop. And it could be, who knows what it's going to be or what it would end up being. So my idea was to start a few more wallets, do a few transactions, especially if I'm doing more longer term plays for, just to not be spending as much if I did it.
Yeah.
In hopes that maybe I get a few airdrops if that comes to fruition.
Okay, so then I think I
shouldn't have just one wallet. Like, I should be doing a lot more than just wallet. I should be diversifying, putting in cold storage and so on. So like, this is the next step of, trying to protect. If I got hacked in one, it wouldn't all be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got 2 tips there for anybody that's watching this tonight. Have a MetaMask wallet right now. Get yourself one. Get yourself multiple MetaMask wallets, because it's decentralized, so they're not doing the KYC and all that stuff. KYC, know your customer. So you can open multiple MetaMask wallets.
Yep, and you just have to be able to keep everything separate, right? Like, so your keys, your passwords, and so on.
Yeah, that's the key. You really got to make sure your passwords are, you got to. Which is
the next topic I want to talk about after that, which is Dave's video. I know that ARKPLATE. I got it. Tim got it for me. ARKPLATE. I found him so fascinating. I love stories and people who innovate things and who take initiatives and do something and step outside their comfort zone. So I want to take a moment and ask Ken in particular, because he was the one that got us onto this. What did you think of that plate when you saw it up close? Was it cool?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's something that everybody in crypto needs, period. It's indestructible pretty much from what he was saying.
Yeah.
So like I said, if your ledger screws up, or if, I don't know, something screws up, whether you have a ledger or if you're using MetaMask or something, as long as you have your keys, you can restore your wallet.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, you know, and like he was saying, you could take those keys and you could just pass them down as an inheritance, you know?
Yes. And Neil, if you missed it, it was this steel little plate, like it's tiny, and you can have multiples of them. That you can have different keys for different sides, and the key phrases. It was fantastic. Did I not say that right? You're making a face. What did I miss?
He always makes a face. Don't worry about it.
I think it's just gas.
Is it gas? Do you have gas tonight?
There we go.
Well, at least he's not adjusting himself tonight like the other night.
Oh,
but anyways.
I was mining. I
have an interesting story that's going to bounce back to Tim here. So 2 weeks ago, my phone decided to light up with a little battery symbol on the top corner, and I decided to look it up on Google, and it was telling me your battery is almost to the point that it's going to be non-existent. Little concerned, ignored it, plugged it in, and all of a sudden, it was dead. Now, I was on an awesome run with Shakepay, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I ended up finding a backup phone. My son got my phone to work just enough, as long as it sit on the couch little ledge, and I would pick it up, look at my face, do a little shake, put it back down, and I would get through it. So the phone provider, which I have to admit, if Google is outstanding customer service, they've shipped me a third phone in 3 years for free of charge. Anyways, I got a new phone, logged everything in, put everything together, and I got my Shakepay over. Shaked, I was still in the same pattern. Did I not forget that night to shake?
Oh no.
So I was almost at 100. I was going for 100. It was my record. I was at 96, and I woke up the next day and I went, oh, I forgot.
No.
I need like an alarm that would remind me. So for all the people in the panel, the old school here understand what Shakepay is all about. There we go. There goes the numbers. So I am back to 12 or 13, whatever the heck it is. It's so Tim, where are you?
Where are you, Tim?
Well, do I hoax it or not? Someone may have to do that $100 donation. We will know Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday. That's
you're
funny.
still on the ball. Good.
I am.
Oh, Verena says that happened to her twice. Anyways, and Gary, 179 days. That is brutal. Anyways, so Marie Claude has a question about those ARC plates, and she said you have to punch them yourself, which is true. And do you get a second plate if you screw up?
No.
If you order a second set, yes.
It was pretty inexpensive from what I got. It was pretty inexpensive with
but that's why you use the marker, the Sharpie that's why he had the worksheet with the EIP 39 on it, where you actually wrote out the numbers.
Yeah.
Before you
Triple
punched
check it. Yeah, triple check
So,
it.
it's easier to change the numbers on the paper than it is on the metal.
And I even liked how he said that he designed the little hammer thing so that when you're looking down at it, you can see down and make sure you're on the right little dot. I thought that was a nice little detail.
It's cool.
It is a really, really cool thing. I just couldn't get over how inventive it was. And I even loved how he even thought of, he's created a picture frame. It doesn't have it yet, I don't think, but you can order it down the line. So it's a picture frame and it's metal. and you fit your ARC plates inside. And the reason he did it metal was so that if somebody comes along and picks it up, it gives the appearance that it's heavy because those things are inside. You can put a picture of your grandmother, your dog, you know, it doesn't matter what you put in there, and it's hidden in plain sight. I thought the whole thing was super cool. And he's a crypto guy too. He loves crypto, and he said he'd be willing to come on and banter with us on a crypto night in Canada at some point soon and talk about which projects he's got, because he's got some pretty cool projects he's following as well. I just loved him. I thought he was great.
That's awesome.
Okay. Wanted to jump and talk about, remember we were talking about Decentraland a couple of weeks ago and virtual reality, and we looked at that platform. Mm-hmm. Do you know Facebook launches or has encouraged its workers to use a virtual reality experience called Horizon to have virtual meetings? That's their new latest and greatest thing. So this is the next iteration of where they're going with all of that, that virtual space. And so I thought it was just really cool because it was a jumping off point of what we talked about before. And so virtual reality is coming fast and furious. So that goes back to our thoughts and our talks about NFTs, because I still think, can you imagine if we have a virtual office? I might want to have virtual artwork in my virtual office.
Is this where we can change our body types and our style?
I hope so.
Have hair for the first time? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I want my virtual office with windows. No?
Well, yeah, I totally think this would be the way to go, because then you would be cutting down on office space. So then you wouldn't have to be paying for the space, the furniture, the cleaning staff. You're think about the network. So this totally makes sense that this is the way to go, especially if people want more freedom to work from home. So I could totally see this happening. But it's funny that you're talking about like NFT artwork on your wall. Visa the other day bought a CryptoPunk. Yes. The corporation, that's kind of big adoption. Visa's already taken, cryptocurrency payments, and then Budweiser got in. I just saw this before I came on. They got an NFT token, and it's a rocket with its logo to use as Twitter image and stuff. Big businesses are getting in here, and I think you're going to see more virtual stuff, and you're going to see a lot more businesses taking advantage of the possible gains. And it's interesting because one person I was following and reading about, and I saw a show, he's talking about the super cycle, like they've never seen this kind of adoption before. So they really don't know what will happen, if it will be a bigger crash because more people will get scared because there's more adoption, or if there won't be as a crash because it's going to be more mainstream. And everyone, my dad was asking me about what I'm doing with DeFi. He's been asking me the last 3 weeks. My dad is 73, but my dad's always loved technology, but he knows what Bitcoin is. I almost said Ethereum. I talked to him about Ethereum, and I think he's interested in investing, but I just want him to keep his money. I'm like, if things go well, you don't need to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
So, but he's interested, and it's interesting that my mom's not interested, but she definitely knows of it. Has heard of it. And one of my wife's coworker, her husband's a miner, and it's just like I'm meeting all these people now that they're like, oh, your husband's in crypto, so is mine, and then they start talking and teaching each other about different aspects. So it's really starting to trickle down more, and I find that it's funny. I know I've been bad on Twitter, and I'm going to refocus. It's just we've been doing a lot of renovations, getting ready for school and that, and it's just really interesting that the trickle down that you're going to see, all of this is going to infiltrate into very interesting places.
I think so too. One of the things, because I love Anthony Pompliano, and him and his brothers have a new show called The Best Business Show, and Tim and I watch it religiously every morning now. I find he's got some of the best guest speakers on there. Now, he's a regular contributor to his show is going to be Kevin O'Leary. Now, I know we have mixed opinions on this, so we're just not going to get into him, Mr. Wonderful, la, 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 la. But what I did find fascinating was something that he did say about the fact that he's talking to a lot of big institutions, and big institutions are lining up their positions. They're getting themselves ready to buy into, and they're following a lot of projects, even more than just Bitcoin. They are totally following a ton of really cool things. Their problem is that they have oversight committees that look on, and governing bodies that look oversight with what they do. And he goes, we don't have a way to invest in this space that is in compliance with the oversight committee. But he goes, let me tell you, the second that gets solved for, that institutional money is coming flooding in, because he's saying he's talking on a regular basis and involved in tons of meetings with a lot of big companies that are trying to figure out how to enter this space. So I think once we have some of that solved for, this is just going to be like Kevin O'Leary used the term, a wall of money will flow into this space, into these projects. And he said, beyond what we're looking at with Bitcoin, Ethereum, that kind of stuff.
Can you imagine seeing another $1 trillion getting pumped into crypto in the next 3 to 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm sure it'll happen.
anyways, it's just really what it comes down to. And again, this came from talking with my girlfriend tonight, was she just said, she's hoping that we get back to a bit of basics with our conversation here about just how to do it, not just why to do it, but how to do it and what projects. So when we talk about, just like you did, Neil, and gave us a tip today about the MetaMask, that was 2 really, really good reasons to get a MetaMask wallet. 1, because of the Dow drop, and 2, because of security, to have more than one. And then if you get the ARKPLATE and you put your key phrases in there and you keep it nice and safe, so you don't ever have to worry about losing that darn thing, then, like at the end of the day, this is all us learning together, because we're not experts on this. We have a very good, strong need to learn more. But yeah, Verena, you and me both. Omi making us millionaires, that would be awesome.
Since you're back to talking about MetaMask, something I want to mention, it's called coin dusting. And that's when you end up getting some coins into your wallet that you don't know where the hell they came from.
Oh, yes, this is a good one.
If you experience that, do not touch those coins. Do not try and trade them or sell them. What you'll end up doing is you'll end up signing a contract when you submit it to allow that specific person access to your MetaMask wallet, and they will drain your account.
Oh, you know what? I've been moving my stuff around onto Atomic Wallet, and I'm getting a lot of stuff off of, where was it? I even noticed that in Binance. A bit.
I've never seen it in Binance, but I noticed.
I did notice it. I did notice it in MetaMask, and I thought, when the hell did I buy that?
Yeah, you got to be careful of that stuff. You got to kind of,
and it's so minute. Like, it was so minute to me that I just bypassed it, and I went, it's going to cost me, 9 times as much in gas, and it's so, like, when the hell did I buy that? And why would I have bought that? And I thought, and I literally have nothing on my MetaMask now, or I have nothing on my Binance as well. It's all in my Atomic or on my Daedalus. My Cardano's on my Daedalus.
So could we go back?
If you happen to find some kind of coins or whatnot, Google it, because it'll come up and tell you whether it's a scam, or it'll come up and say, they've partnered with this company, and what this company is doing is they've went ahead and they've sent off, 20 billion coins, and they've separated it to all these users and stuff. Just do your research on any kind of coins that you happen to see pop in your wallet.
But how do you get rid of it if you don't want it in your wallet?
Don't touch it.
You just
Don't
ignore it.
Hide it.
It's like clicking that link on the computer.
So if you click on a coin before you do anything, like, you can actually go and click, I think it's the 3 dots. I just cleaned up my wallet a bit, and you just say hide coin. Yeah. So then you wouldn't see it. So then
there's supposed to be some kind of protection to deflect any kind of dusting in MetaMask, but I haven't been able to find it.
Well, if you
And
do,
I
can we
know there
bring
is
it up
some-
on a Wednesday night so we can share
Yeah,
that?
if I can find it. Yeah, I know there's a way in the Trust wallet to do it, but I don't use the Trust wallet. So, but I did find out the Trust wallet does have that option to block that stuff.
No, that's
Very
good.
cool.
See,
Very cool.
3 big tips tonight. This is a
Recap.
show.
What were they?
I just thought I'd
ARKPLATE,
mention it because I got a whole bunch of like
Coin
NBNE coin in my wallet, and I'm like, what the hell?
and I need to buy OMI. That's what I just learned today.
Yes,
With your son.
You know
Yes,
what you should
yes.
do? You should download the app, the Play Store, and just check it out that way. And then that's like kind of the real world adoption. Whereas OMI is the coin, but the company is Ecomi, ECOMI.
And they've got the
Download it
app,
on
right?
And
yeah, the VB app.
I've got a couple NFTs I've got early on there, and I haven't done much since.
Okay, thanks. We're definitely going to look at. I am very surprised of, and I think what I'm seeing more and more of, and I could be wrong, but what I see in my world is that, as Neil was saying, is that the elderly are starting to know more and more about it. The young generation is starting to know more and more about it, but that 20, 30, 40, it's only a small percentage compared. I mean, my 11-year-old is telling other friends, "Oh, we got to get some of that Bitcoin. We can buy stuff with Bitcoin." I'm like, "Do you know how much Bitcoin costs?" He's like, "Yeah, well, you can get 2 or 3. Don't you have 2 or 3 of them?" I'm like, "I wish."
My nephews, my nephews are aware of it, and they're 19 and 17. And my youngest nephew, when we were away at the cottage, was asking me a bunch of questions.
Oh, and I bet you, did he ask the question if you're going to be racing horses? Because Ryan wants to know if
you
you
better
bought.
put Ryan out of his misery and answer if you can giddy up and on him.
Ryan, I didn't see the message. No, I haven't bought a horse. Just looking at it, trying to gauge it. But
Okay, seriously, can you just darn well buy a horse for our sake?
Yeah.
And then we'll all pitch in.
A community. We could do a community horse. Do we?
We will. We'll buy a community horse.
I am not investing in a community horse.
I am totally going to email you the money. Just tell me where to go, and Tim will send it to you.
Well, I could buy a horse, but
is it going to be a quarter horse?
I don't want to buy a donkey. You know what I mean?
Hey, one just got stolen in Halton Hills. Is that you?
Oh, really? No, I wish. I love donkeys.
Oh no, Gus.
Yes, we need a community horse, and we'll create a community name for the horse.
Well, maybe we should create a community stable.
A community stable. This is even more fun.
Be a community
in Decentraland. Yeah.
Indeed. And then we have community bonfires.
So we can name them Cent and Penny and Nickel and Dime.
Sure. Cent and Penny. I love it.
And they run the quarter mile.
Listen. I know Ryan really, really, really wants you to do this too.
You're poking me with the freaking.
Well, if I get some gains, I'll definitely look. I'm super interested. It's just I've got a number of renos in the house that are coming together, and then I'm also trying to get my garage done. And school starts. I hate to say it, in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's just.
Well, I don't hate to say it because now I've got someone to do something with my oldest daughter.
I just want them to stay in there for the entire year. Can we have that happen?
That would be beautiful.
I'm not sure that that's going to happen. Don't get your hopes up, but I won't tell you why I think that. Anyways,
that's
Marie,
a Sunday conversation.
That's a Sunday conversation. Marie Claude says, yes, let's buy a community horse. I swear to God, we can have a crypto night in Canada horse called Penny or Cent, Scented Penny, Penny Cent. Something like that. This is super fun. You got to keep us posted.
Tim should finance it because he seems the most excited.
This is the husband that gets freaked out when I go into a casino. I know I'm there to just give my money away. I look at it like a charity donation. He's so discombobulated. Every time I make money, here, give that to me. Give that to me. I'm like, just leave me alone.
We'll create a stable, and it will be similar to a puppy mill, but a horse mill in the digital age.
Do we lose Candace? Where is Candace? We need her because this Cent and Penny thing is our Facebook community is gonna blow up now.
I swear to God, we need a digital horse in a
The
digital
Cybertruck.
horse race. Yeah,
know,
Tim, you could be the
if you push me
Cybertruck.
too hard, I might have to help you facilitate this. So
We need to. We honestly,
Oh,
we need
would you look at the time?
This is going to be like our mascot.
this
Is one
what
of
we
these?
need.
Okay.
We need 4. You need at least one Genesis, which is like the original.
Okay.
And there's only ever 36,000 of them. I think there's only been 18,000 released. And if you could get one during the drop, they're just kind of regular price.
Okay.
And then, so that's the top one. And then you have legendaries, the next one. And if you had, say, a stallion that was Genesis and 3 mares that were legendary, if you bred them, they would have legendary horses. And then if you bred them with, say, another legendary, they'd be an exclusive, and they've got different values in that. But any kind of horse could be a genuine racer. It's all pure luck. But you
So this is-
actually, yeah. Like
This reminds me of like Final Fantasy VII and the Chocobos, where you got to breed them to make golden. You got to try and get a golden Chocobo.
Apparently, it's very similar to like similar premise into like Pokemon and how you. I never played that game. I'm not sure about it, but it's just you can go. It's if you go to the site called Know Your Horse, you can look up the family history of that horse because it's all on the blockchain, and that site actually tracks all the horses. So when you go, and that's the thing is I've been waiting and looking, is I don't want to buy an absolute crap horse that's there's no reason to breed it or even race it because it's like it should really be pulling a cart.
There's no buying a stud to dud. Nope.
So
well, okay,
that's
so
why I'm kinda waiting.
poor Verena. Listen, poor Verena is behind a little bit on this. She doesn't understand. Can you just give her a quick little synopsis for 2 minutes what we're talking about here?
So one of the projects I found in, I guess, the last month is called Zed Run, Z-E-D Run, and it's a blockchain game that is NFTs, and they are horses. But you can also race them for prize money, which is ETH, and it's on the ETH blockchain. It's also on Polygon, and you can get different horses on different blockchains. And they race, but then you can also breed them. And there's 36,000 of the original horse, which are the best horses, or standard horses, and they're called Genesis. And then there's 5 categories, and you can breed them. So if you bred 2 Genesis horses, it'd be a legendary. You breed a Genesis and a legendary, it's a legendary. 2 legendary, it's an exclusive, and so on. And they get more and more expensive. So I'm trying to buy a Genesis. I'm trying to get a Genesis that hasn't run a race and hasn't been bred, because there's a chance that they could be a lot more valuable in the future. There's other games out there. I haven't really done a lot of research, but Zed Run is the furthest along in it, and they run 1,000 simulations of a race for every race, and they randomly pick one. And you would have odds based, like a really good horse would have probably 15% odds to win.
Let's see. Oh,
yes.
Own, race, and earn. Look at Gary's found it. That's amazing. Okay, so just give us an idea. If the community, if we wanted to do a Crypto Night in Canada horse, what would that cost us to get a Genesis?
Give me 1 second.
Is it like $5, $10, $1,000?
I'm talking 1,500.
What?
Oh, whoa.
And that's not even like the best horse.
Oh, everyone saw the Bitcoin. Everyone saw the
No.
Bitcoin.
No, I think I know how we could do this. We might have to do some. I will put some thought on how we can do this as a community and how we can have fractional ownership in this. There's got to be a way. We're smart people.
To bring this full cycle, I think the sale has shipped.
Really? It's all done?
No. It's a bad Tim joke.
I got it.
You don't have to participate.
Oh, but I am participating.
So
Just by sitting here and being with us, honey. Listen,
Listen, my association.
Listen. I think this could work. We'll talk about it next Wednesday night. We'll talk again. We need more information.
We need more money. 1,500 bananas.
No, but if we all split it and then we have fractional ownership, it's
Woo-hoo!
a thing.
Well, and maybe
People run down to the end of the driveway and wave cars down.
Maybe you could buy a mare for my Genesis to mate with, and then we could keep that horse.
How much is that?
For.
Mares are cheaper.
They wouldn't be a Genesis. They'd be a legendary, so they'd be a level down. But if you mate them with a Genesis, they're still a legendary. So it's kind of the way to get in. And then there's different bloodlines within the game, and there's 4 or 5 different bloodlines, and one of them is Nakamoto. Is the best bloodline is Nakamoto.
See?
Get our Excel spreadsheet ready.
The least
yes.
One. Yeah. So it's
yes.
There's tons of colors and here.
I love it.
Let's see. So the least expensive one here is and some people will sell like unnamed horses, so those are more valuable. The cheapest one I found right now, I drink classical music, is $902.85.
Wow.
But okay, what we need to know, and maybe you can come back next week on this one with us, Neil. Just give us an idea what our rate of return was potentially if we got a Genesis horse that could breed more Genesis horses and could win some races. Like this is like, let's talk about this like it's a real horse that we really, really.
The thing that would what I'm gonna try and do is once I do free up a little bit of cash, is I'm gonna keep it on hand, but you have to buy an ETH. So when ETH goes up, the price goes up and that. So you can also bid on horses, or you can just buy it at that price.
Huh.
So, but yeah, so it's on OpenSea, and I'm sitting on it. I'm super interested, even after, like, you can see me. I'm like little kid.
Yeah.
Right now.
I know. I'm actually really interested in this too, just for the sheer fun of it. So I know. And anyways, I know
you like actually got a horse that was you ran one, and it was like a very strong horse, and you actually started making money. It's like you've got people on these YouTube channels talking about their stable and how they're setting up bloodlines, and they've got their Nakamoto and their Buterin, and it's just so funny because they're speaking like they actually have a ranch.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I love it. It's like, I want a ranch, and I can't afford one in the real world.
This is what I'm saying. This just fascinates this fascinates me. I love it.
A ranch on Decentraland.
Oh, see, there you go.
It'd be cheap, right? We'd be on the outskirts of town.
Right. We don't need to be near anything. We got to put our horses out to pasture.
You pay us to go for a ride.
Oh, geez. Anyways, this has been super duper fun. I've loved this conversation. I know we've been trying to keep it to an hour because I know Gary's got a sort of some kids that he's got to entertain. And so everybody that has been watching tonight, come back next Wednesday for Crypto Night in Canada so you can find out about our horse discussions. We're going to get more information. Thank you, Gary, for coming tonight. Hope you come and join us again. This was a lot of fun. Ken, stay cool out there. I know it's been hot, and for you lifting on and moving and whatnot. Thank you for everything you do. Honestly, I am thanking anybody that is willing to come and do hard work these days. You are amazing. Thank you for just showing up and doing that job. Let's just say that. And Neil, it's great seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you again shortly. And thanks everybody for tuning in. It was great. And we'll see you next Wednesday on Crypto Night in Canada.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Bye, friends.